So give me a second. Okay. Okay. So this defects also. Somebody deleted the defective. Okay. So make sure you guys don't delete the work. Okay. So we have to be very careful in this. So if you're deleting someone else's work, that will be a problem. Okay. Don't delete anyone's work. So I hope you guys would have at least learned that, that do not delete anyone's work, okay? So if you are going to the work and if you are doing all this, it will just be really a serious problem, okay? So you have created a defect for explanation and there's no defect here. So in every class I create one defect. So to make understand people, right? So what's the defect? See here, you see this, and this is September. So in October somebody deleted it. Okay, so don't do this. Okay, now this is the second time. So I'm not sure how are you going to manage the workplace. If you keep doing this, this will be like really problematic. Okay. Okay, let's see if somebody done this. Okay. You need to be very careful. Okay, you cannot delete someone else's work. Okay, so here, let's go to this agile. So we'll discuss, brief what's an agile, and we'll discuss about terminology. Okay, and let's see here. So let's go to terminology. Okay, so these guys actually changed completely. So we just okay, yes. Okay, so let's start with the roles. Okay, so roles, in waterfall methodology, we call business analyst, right? In waterfall, we call business analyst. Here in agile, you call as product owner. Okay, same guy, business analyst. Here you call in agile, you call as a product owner. Okay, now roles and responsibilities a little bit different. Okay, so you also want to go through this roles and responsibilities. The reason because it's not necessary those people. So this is agile, right? Some people know, some people don't know, and in companies don't. Okay, so in companies, they really don't. Sometimes they train like how to do the work, but Not always. Okay, employees, they are training. Employees go through training and all those things. But it's not necessary. It's always. So in that case, they don't really know their responsibilities. So you can go through this few of the responsibilities and also try to understand what actually they will be doing it. Okay, so that is. Okay, so that's the product owner. Okay, product owner is actually the business analyst. In waterfall methodology, you call business analyst. Here you call it product owner. Okay, and then you have development team. Okay, you also have development team, and this agile, right? So if you're having small team, that's good. You know, it's like two developers, one tester, one scrum master. Okay, that's good. Now, if you're having a large, agile team, that's really not recommended. You want to divide the team, team one, team two, team three, so on. Because the reason, because if you're handling too many people, like 10 people, and if it goes more than that, because I didn't see anything which is agile is of 20 people. Okay, if you're going that long, I mean, there will be a lot of confusion, lot of chaos in the work. You cannot do the work properly because that is really not recommended. If you're going in the agile, then 5 people, that's good. You know, that's well and good. But if you're going beyond that, then it creates a problem because it's hard to um, see who is working on what. Managers will be confused what's going on, who is working on what is the story. This really it's hard. So in that case, it's always recommended to have smaller, agile team than larger one. Or if you want more, then you can create teams. Like normally it's a teams. Okay, team one, team two, team three, team four, team five, so on. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to be. So that's how development team. Okay, and if you are, let's say you're working on some QA guy. I mean, you're working in QA. You're a QA, right? So let's say you find some issue. So if you found some issue and that issue is actually related to ETL, right? Sometimes you find a UI thing in the ETL part, okay? So, but problem is there are no ETL developer in your team, right? There are only two people, two developers, web developer, Java developer, but there is no ETL developer. Now, in that case, what you have to do is you need to reach out to another team, okay, to get who is working on this code because ETL developer might be in another team, so you need to reach out. But you cannot reach out directly. You need to follow some company guidelines. Okay, some companies don't really want to directly communicate to developers. I hope you guys understand this. Okay, let's say for example Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo doesn't allow you to communicate directly to the. When I was working, they don't allow you to work. They don't allow you to directly communicate to developers. Okay, so you have to make sure you're following proper guidelines because you cannot really communicate directly whomever you want. You need to check with your manager or check with your lead. Okay, first you need to check with your lead saying that, hey, you know what, this is the issue, and this is really issue is really not related to Java or web, because I checked with them and they're saying like it will be an ETL issue, then how can I reach out to ETL guy? That's how you need to reach out people, okay? Um, or you can simply, if you know who is the right guy, simply assign. So see, this assigning thing doesn't work. If you really assign in Rally, if you let's say you have this defect and you assign it to that guy, and that guy may not respond. They don't even care about it. You open one defect and defect they don't even know. So you need to communicate properly with the team. Okay, that's very important. So that's development team in agile. Okay, so there might be pretty much in your team, it may not be in your team. Okay, so you need to see. Scrum Master. Scrum Master is project manager in waterfall methodology is called Scrum Master in Agile. Okay, Scrum Master is project manager. Okay, project manager in waterfall is called Scrum Master in Agile. So make sure you understand this. This is very important. Okay, if you see this, see this is very important. Okay, this you have to go through this responsibilities. Thing is, There's a lot of information here. See what happens, right? Now you have opened a defect, right? Now you have opened a defect and you reached out to developer. Okay, developer said, no, I don't have time for your defects. Okay, I'm working on production issues. Please, don't bother me. And okay, it's fine. They open a defect. Now, if you're not getting it fixed, then you're responsible for that, right? You open a defect. Now, what happens, right? Okay, you went 2 times, 3 times, and the developer says, no, I don't have time for this. I'm working on serious production issue, and they really don't care. So in that case, you want to reach out to Scrum Master. So they are the one who's supposed to, fix this issue. Why? Look at this. This is what the responsibility is. This clearly shows helping the Scrum team to avoid or remove impediment to its progress, whether internal or external. See, what happened? This thing happened into the real time, right? What happened, right? So same thing happened. I opened defect. I reached out to the developer. Developer said, no, I don't have time. This happened like for 1 week, and that was really problem. And I know. I get a question from my boss. I'll get call. Hey, what happened to this defect? Why are you not following up? And I know that is going to happen. So what I did is I gave the issue to the Scrum Master saying that, hey, what can you now what happened is yeah, sure. You can access your rally. Whenever everyone have access to rally, right? You can access anytime, right? No issues. Whenever you're free, you can access rally. Okay, so here's the thing. What happened, right? So my boss suddenly called me, saying that why did you give to this issue to Scrum Master? Okay. So then I said, if you don't know the answer, you're really in trouble, right? So I told them, what Scrum Master is a bridge between the developer and tester, and if there are any issues, the Scrum Master has to resolve this issue. And you know what? And my boss was really, Scrum Master certified, right? And they don't know what's the roles and responsibilities of. Then they said, okay, they never talked about the issue. So that's how it, right? They don't know. Okay, so when they don't know, you need to, understand their responsibilities, and if you need to go, because if you're open defect and if it's not getting it fixed, then you are the one who is responsible for that. If you are not escalating the issues, okay. So make sure you guys are doing right at the first time. Okay, so go through this, understand what the responsibility is, because most of them working at employees itself don't know what to do, so that's why they hire you to make them understand. Okay, so that's the reason they hire you, because they don't know most of stuff. So that's you need to also tell them. So hey, what, look into this. This is the Scrum Master responsibility. They have to look into this. And that's one of the responsibilities. So that's how that's how it works. So this is, and if you see here, there's no testers, right? If you see this, so what happens in Agile? They're trying to, they're trying to eliminate these testers from Agile. So that's really not that's really not possible. That's really not possible. Now your boss really questions to you, okay? If they hire you first day, they might question you, right? We don't need any testers. We don't need any testers. Our developer are going to test. So what are you going to do? They might ask you this question, right? They are really obvious questions, right? These are pretty much obvious. They will be asking. We don't require any testers. We have developers doing the testing, and everyone is good. Why should we hire you, or why should we give you work, or what is the reason? There's an obvious reason from your boss. Your boss simply says this. Okay, they will not even say why. They will just say, no, we don't need you because developer is doing testing. Okay, so in that case, you need to say that you cannot really eliminate testers completely. It's really not possible. And the reason you have to give is why, because whenever developers test, whenever they do testing, they do is a business perspective. Know what the business is and what coding is and all those, all those things. And whenever testers does the testing, they do user perspective. So at the end of the day, it's the user, who is going to, use the functionality or use the features of an application, not the business. Business is nothing to do with functionality features, right? So that's how you cannot completely eliminate testers. The reason, because developer doesn't have that knowledge, or even if they have, they don't have enough time to do this, right? That's why the testers are completely different and developers are completely different. So that's how you need to say when your boss asks. Okay? You need to be very careful in answering the questions from your boss. Your boss says right away, they always say, why should I hire you? There's no reason to hire a tester in our team. We have developers who's doing testing, we have the scrum master, everyone is good. Why should we hire you? Okay, so you need to be very careful in answering such questions. Okay, so make sure, even if they ask you when you are in the project or when you are in the interview, you need to make sure you answer appropriately. Okay, make sure you're giving a professional answer. Okay, it's not like just like somebody else is answering, you're answering. It should be professional way. Okay, so that's about these roles and responsibilities. Okay, and then we'll go to, okay, so let's talk about this artifact. So this is a product backlog. Okay, so what is this product backlog? So product backlog is, I would say, those product backlog is a very high level requirement. Okay, in very high level requirements. It's a, it's, of course, it's a requirement. Now this is non-technical. Product backlog can be non-technical document. It can be, as and it can be as short as one line statement in Excel sheet. You might just put an Excel sheet and just put one line statement. Okay, and that's that. You cannot do anything with that product backlog, because that is non-technical. Developer don't understand what it is. Testers don't understand. Nobody understands. Okay, unless it is jotted down, into technical, requirements. That's the product backlog. It's a very high-level document, and it can be as small as one line statement. Okay, the saying like, okay, design GMO online. Okay, or GMO online product. That's it. And if you don't know what is GMO, then you don't know, right? So since we know what is GMO, it's in a front-end application. There's a lot of interface there. There are a lot of fields. There's a name interface. There is order quantity and all those things. But you don't have that idea, because it's really not. It doesn't have any technical requirement. That's a product backlog. Okay. So let's see here. So here you having technical work, some of the technical, but it's not always required to be a technical. Okay, just let's see here. If you see here, you don't need to have a technical. Okay, so yeah, in some scenario you might have technical information, but not always. Okay, don't expect always technical information, because you are not writing your test cases based on product backlog. You're writing test cases based on user stories. Okay, you remember when you're doing the rally, you're writing test cases based on user stories. The user stories are technical. That means it has some information in the something that you have to write on that. Okay, so you cannot write any test cases based on product backlog. So mostly it doesn't contain that much of technical information. Okay. But yeah, only information about, it's a high level set of requirements. So that's product backlog. Then we'll go to next, then sprint backlog. So before sprint backlog, this is called something called sprint. Sprint is time box unit. That means, for the ease of convenience, we'll take 1 month. So 1 month is one sprint. We can say that it doesn't have to be 1 month. It can be 15 days. It can be 20 days, based on the project, based on the work. Okay. but sprint is time boxed in it. For example, 1 month. Okay, and 1 month, one sprint. We take one, sprint two, sprint three, sprint four. That means 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month. Okay, so that's a sprint. What is sprint backlog? Anything which has remained, which was not completed, the work and the backlog item, that's called sprint backlog. Okay. Now again, I don't take this as a technical. This may not always be a technical. Sometimes it can be technical based on the project, but again, it doesn't contain any technical information. Okay, so that's the sprint backlog. And next, you have user stories. User stories, right? And now that is the technical information that helps for developer, for the testers to understand what's going on, right? Okay, so here's the thing: backlog, product backlog. See this product backlog, right? This product backlog is divided into sprint backlog. That means there's a large chunk of work which is divided. 1 month you get this sprint in next month, in next sprint is okay. So this work is divided into simpler as a sprint backlog, and again this sprint backlog is divided into chunk of work called user stories. Okay, so that's how this is. And now again, graphs. There's a lot of graphs. We have seen this graph, right? Sprint burn down chart. So this is a sprint burn down chart. If you're in Rally, it's already there. You don't have to plot anything. The Rally does for you. Once you finish the user story, once it's done, it automatically designs a graph for you. Let's say 30 days, that 1 month. Okay, 1 month sprint, and this is a sample burn down chart that gets updated for you. Once you click on that, click on properly particular project and particular user story, and this gets designed for you automatically. There's no need to do any handwork or something like that. There's no need. Previously, in traditional way, they used to have this plotter. Okay, they have plotter and they used to do it manually, but we don't require anymore since Rally does it for us. Okay, we don't anymore require this. Okay, so these are all the charts. You have sprint burn down chart, you have release burn down charts. Okay, and of course these are few of these velocity spikes. Okay, so these are some of the terminologies in Agile. Any questions so far? These are called artifacts. Okay, these are artifacts. So there can be a simple question like, what are the artifacts of Agile? Okay, so these are the artifacts: product backlog, sprint backlog, and then charts. Burn down chart, burn up chart. Okay, all this tracer. All these are called artifacts of Scrum. So we are dealing only. This is more related to Scrum, not the Scrum. If you are using any other, like if you are using Kanban, if you are using RAD, Rapid Application Development, all this will be similar. Okay, all this information will be similar, but the way of doing is a little bit different. Okay, so that is artifacts. So let's see here, Agile. So let's go to pretty quick here, workflow. Let's find out here. So this is the framework of the Agile. So you have this product backlog. Okay, let's say you have 4 sets of product backlog. Okay, and again I told you, right, it doesn't always have to contain technical information, and it has to divide it into some chunk of work, right? So that's the reason it is divided into 3-4 blocks, 4 sprints. That means 4 months. Okay, we'll take it for ease of units. Don't have to be 4 months, but just taking for understanding. So 4 months. So 1 block, 4 months. 2 blocks, 8 months. 3 blocks. So it's kind of like that. Once you divide that, once you get better understanding what is the work to be done. Now this sprint backlog, and you have this user stories. Each sprint, how many user stories have you got? 10 user stories, 15. So it should not be more than 10 user stories. If it's going more than 10 user stories, then you are doing something wrong, because you want a large team, and if you're having large team, you cannot handle it. So it has to go into a different team. Okay, so that's how. So it should be limited user stories like 10. Okay, each sprint goes with 10 user stories, and each sprint you have, let's say, sprint 30 days, right? Once you finish this and you deliver the work product. So in the sprint, right, user stories is classified as a priority. Whichever the priority, whichever the customer related is important, it goes in that sprint. Okay, because let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 sprint. Let's say if you're doing 4 sprint, that means 4 months. And in that 4 months, if you find okay, this is the user story which is priority. That means customer has to get this information first. Then it goes to the first sprint rather than 4th sprint, right? So based on priority, they classify this sprint backlog and they put the user stories. Okay. So all this user stories is job of a Scrum Master. Scrum Master does all this work, scheduling meetings and classifying all the. Not the Scrum Master, Scrum Master with product owner. He has to work with the product owner because product owner is a stakeholder guy, right? He is responsible for what the business wants. Okay. Any questions so far? So this is how Agile works. This is a simple diagram of an Agile. Okay, so let's go to the next one and let's talk about those meetings. Okay, let's see about meetings. Okay, so you have a sprint planning meeting. Okay, so in this sprint planning meeting, you'll be having planning session. So how you'll be planning like what are you going to do? We want to see which user stories, again I told you, right? Which user stories is priority, which has to go first, or which has which can wait, that can go in the next sprint. All these are planned in sprint planning session. Okay, this is called sprint planning. And normally they have this voting kind of voting. That's like let's say this is one user story, and Scrum Master says how much time do you guys require this. And some developer, of course, developers will be having more knowledge, so developer will be more involving in this meeting than testers. Okay, so developer will be saying the 5 days. Okay, that 5 days includes 3 days for development and 2 days for testing, because that's how it means by 5. Not just development is 5 means it's 5 for development. No, 5 means 3 days for development, 2 days for testing. Okay, so now once it's done, now Scrum Master will say, no, we don't have time for 5 days. Why don't you guys do for 3 days? That means 2 days for development, 1 day for testing. Okay, now there will have a lot of discussion here, because someone has to support that reason, because we have to coordinate the issues, because there are a lot of issues and we need to coordinate with a different team, which is an ETL work, which is also involves the functional. That's why it takes a lot of time, 5 days. Now if the Scrum Master agrees with that, then it's good. Then we will say that 5 days. We just put it. So that's all is done in sprint planning session. It's normally the voting kind of thing. Okay. It's normally these it sometimes don't have to be a voting system. Okay, they would decide, and you have to decide once how much time will you require. Sometimes it's kind of like that. And of course it doesn't require a lot of time. In Agile you need to move fast, not like waterfall. Waterfall used to have a lot of time. 1 week used to have at least 1 week of time to complete the project for a tester. But in Agile, you're moving fast. You might have just 1 or 2 days. Okay, probably more, but your the expectation of your boss will be 1 or 2 days, not more than that. Okay, so that's how all this is planned in the sprint planning session. Okay. Now this is sprint planning is done once every new sprint is added. Sprint 1, okay, once sprint 1 is started, sprint planning goes. The sprint 2, it's again the sprint 2 for sprint planning, sprint 3, and so on. There's one more called sprint grooming, so that's not here. A sprint grooming session, and in that also we'll be discussing the similar similar work. If you miss something in sprint planning, you will be doing a sprint grooming session. And this will take, the sprint planning will take almost 3 to 4 hours. Okay, they will take at least 3 to 4 hours to discuss whole sprint, like 1 month project, right? How we are trying to plan that. So this will be taking 3 to 4 hours, and we'll make sure that your lunch time is used. Okay, so it will be, that's how they plan. Okay, that's sprint planning. And any questions in sprint planning? So normally they see which priority user story has to go, and based on that, they assign that user story. Okay, who is going to be tester? Who is going to be a QA? You have to. Sometimes they let you know. Sometimes you need to see which one you are responsible. Okay, based on your credentials. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Daily Scrum. So daily Scrum, this is its name itself, right? It's a daily. That means you will be having daily meeting. Normally the meeting is 9 and doesn't last for more than 15 minutes. If this meeting is going more than 30 minutes, then you are doing something wrong. We are not going more than 15 minutes here. Okay. And what we discuss here, we discuss what have you done yesterday. Okay. What are you doing today, and what are you going to do tomorrow? And is there impediments that is stopping you? Impediments, right? Instead of defects, there's impediments. Okay. The defect is like document where you can open, and impediments is like any issue, coordination issue, any bug or any defect is called impediments. That is stopping you to do your work. Okay, that's called impediments. And okay, so that's how you will discuss in Scrum, daily Scrum. Okay, so what we discussed, what have you done yesterday? What are you going to do today? What are you going to do tomorrow? And is there any impediments that is stopping your work to do? Okay, so that's the daily Scrum meeting. Okay, and it's normally lasts from 9 a.m. to 9:15. Normally that's the time. And it's a stand-up meeting. Look at this. This is like, this is Scrum meeting, and there will be one Scrum Master. There will be Scrum Master, testers, developers, and product owner. Product owner will be also, if he's responsible, will be attending this meeting, and not boss. So managers, your boss will not be here unless they are really technical. They know really what they are doing. Okay. Of course, I did not assume test managers will be here, but if the developer managers, sometimes they handle a lot of work. So they're really technical and they're doing 3 to 4 things. So they are also invited in this meeting. Otherwise, managers are really not invited in this meeting. Okay. So this is how stand-up meeting or daily Scrum meeting happens. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So let's go to the next one. There is something called a sprint retrospective meeting. Okay, so in this, what we are trying, what we'll be doing is like, what they will be discussing is what went good, what didn't go good, and how can we improve what didn't go good. Okay, these 3 important things they will be discussing. Okay, that's the main theme of this sprint retrospective meeting. Okay, and this will be at the end of the sprint. Okay, because of course, at the end of sprint, right? Once you understand, no, we didn't have these documents properly, the communication was not done properly, those people, were not responding to it, we were not able to complete our working times. All these things should be discussed in sprint retrospective meeting, okay? And this is, it's normally 1 hour, okay? And it will be mostly at the end of the sprint. Okay, any questions? Okay, so let's see once. So this is a traditional way. If you see this board, this is a traditional. We don't require any more this because we have this. In Valley we can do all these things. But previously, how it's to be, right? This is how it should. It's supposed to be. There's a stories. This is the user stories. Okay, let me see if I can. Yes. Okay. So. Okay, so this column is called user stories. Okay, and okay, good. Okay, and this is to do work. Okay, this column is to do work, and then you have in progress. If you are doing anything, so this is the in progress column. And is there any testing for that user story? Okay, this is column for that. And the sprint end, so this is another column for this. Okay, so this was the traditional way of doing this work. Okay, no, it's no more required. Okay, but here's the thing. So what happens, right? You have this bunch of user stories. You see this white papers. These are the user stories. They have some information like this application is to be designed. And, if you don't understand anything, you have to reach out to the developer saying that, okay, so what's actually the main theme of it and how are you going to do it? Okay, so it has this is pretty small. If you see this, pretty small. Normally it's supposed to have some kind of information, but they are they have removed all the documents, and this is only pretty this is only information you have for when you start testing. Okay, so once always, as developers starts at sticky note. If you see this, there's a lot of sticky notes. Okay, once developer, you cannot start testing before development is completed, right? Development has to be completed. So as a thumb of rule, always developers opens, this user stories. Okay, so they'll say, okay, okay, I'm taking this user story and I'll be doing, and what they do, they have this sticky note, and they have that, as I told you, right? They have this forecast number. Let's say 5 days. Now developer will be having 3 days. Now they would put the 3, and next day they'll strike this 3 and put it 2 because they already worked 1 day, and they said, okay, I'm working on it. Next day it's again 1, and then it's become 0. Once it becomes 0, this sticky notes moves into progress, from progress to at the sprint ends. Once the development is completed, and now next sticky note will be get started, and that will be from the tester, right? That will be from tester, and they will say, okay, what have you tested? Once it gets tested, it will be in progress. Once it's progress, it is in testing, and once it's testing, it moves into completed status. Okay, so all this is actually taken care by Scrum Master. All this who organizes, all these things will be done by the Scrum Master. Okay, so these, so this is how traditional way of doing. But really, we don't require all this because once you have this rally, you see this, you normally have task. Okay, instead of sticky notes here, we do the task. Why? Because let's see here. If I see here the task, so if you see this, right, how much the estimation you are doing and how much to do is that. So this signifies the time here. Okay, so you don't require any more the sticky notes, and that pretty board, this board, and because so the reason why it's online, because all this, this requires a lot of time, right? Now, if you're taking the board and putting all your user stories here, sticking it, that really requires a lot of time. And you're wasting your time. Okay, it's just not you, it's a scrum master, it's a team people who are responsible for this. And now, if you're using all this time for doing this, then you're spending less time on testing. Now, your efficiency is actually decreasing. That's the reason you want to move it in online, something like this. Okay, this is not appropriate to that, but DFS is good. DFS has a sticky note functionality. You can drag your user story, put it here, drag your task, and you can put it here. Here it's really not that scenario, but of course you can move your state, like move to define in progress. Once you complete it, check it out as move completed. That means this you have to update this number 10 hours. You have completed to 7 hours and it's 3 hours and you have done. Okay, so this is the online version of that, of this traditional way of doing this. No more traditional, you might be doing traditional, but if you're doing traditional, you can recommend, them saying that, hey, you know what, we are really, not doing efficiently, because we are really spending a lot of time in just organizing these boards, putting these sticky notes, putting this user stories. We really don't require that, so why not we use this tool? So why? Because because of this, we will improve our efficiency, and if we have any issues, we can work on the issues. Because this will take much larger time, and you need to print all this, right? Now this is, and we have to print all this, and you need to have this plotter. So a lot of things actually. Okay, so you don't want to. Also you're utilizing the company's resources. You are utilizing more resources. Okay, so that's the second reason. That's the reason you want to employees. And of course, and all the charts are for you automatically designed here. Let's see here. This is burn down chart. Let's see here. This chart shows up. Okay, so you don't need that plotter. Okay, traditionally you used to have that plotter, and that's a big plotter, right? It's a big plotter, and it's plot all these graphs kind of like this. So you see this graph, and you have to use the big paper, that's a high quality thick paper, and used to stick on the walls, because whenever the audit people or the CFO, whoever is stakeholder, right, whoever is responsible for this project, comes and visits each of them. Where is where is your graphs? How is your work going on? There's a lot of things. So in this case, you really don't really require all these things. Okay, we are saving a lot of companies' resources by using this online. And this, you see this, this graph is already plotted for you here itself. And if you require more graphs, let's go to the reports. And here you see this iteration burn down, iteration burn up, velocity chart. All these charts is already ready for you. And once you click on this, okay, here it doesn't work because we have not organized the user story properly. But here, if you click on this, let's say this one, and this already plots for you. Okay, now you can see here, you can see which is the story, how many defects you can see here, and how many defects are pending. All this shows here. So we really don't require any traditional way of doing this. Okay, this is more traditional. And this Scrum meeting also is more of a traditional, because let's say offshore team. Let's take a scenario here. There's an offshore team. Somebody questioned, right? Somebody told, okay, we have an offshore team. How do you expect to be physically present at daily Scrum? Right? That's a very good question. Now you cannot be in the Scrum meeting when you are in an offshore team. So in that case, use this telephone. Okay. So this stand-up meeting really doesn't work that good. So stand-up meeting, you have to, sometimes you have to use telephone, and you need to work it out. So everything is online. So why don't so there was some very good question from someone guy said, what, this offshore team, how can we do this? So yeah, you need to use telephone or make it online, online something using some rally tool or something. Then we can also work on daily scrum meeting. Okay, so this is about this agile. So this is about agile methodology. Okay, this is all we will be working on, various meetings, scrum artifacts. Okay, any questions so far? So you know what? That was about Scrum. Okay, so that was we'll just look into to what. So there is one more tool called TFS. So I hope I have access to this. So let's see here. Okay, so here this TFS is from Microsoft, and it's also a test management tool. Okay, here is you don't have to download, but let's see here. Okay, so that is very good for not just Scrum, but also, I mean, it's more, so Rally is designed for more Scrum, okay, more the Scrum way of doing the work. But there's a Kanban. The Kanban is similar to Scrum, but you don't have that many meetings, or you don't have you do your work quietly in this. It's not the Scrum. It's not really that quiet. You need to have this. There's a ceremonial kind of thing. People have to attend. See here. Okay, yes. So if you want access for this, I can give you access, but really Microsoft doesn't allow. So I have this access for this, but it doesn't allow to give for other IP address, right? Once it gets it's being used only with that one. The problem is not everyone can use this, but there is a way. If you're really interested in working on TFS, or if you want access for this too, then I can create a brand new, okay, brand new account for each one of you, whoever is interested, and we can work from there. And you will be a super admin for that, and make sure whatever projects you can create by yourself, whatever you're working on. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, good. Now this is the sign in. Okay, so we'll discuss about this one in detail. Okay, so let's see here what how our board kind of thing works here. Let's see here. Project, this project. Once you enter into this is the project, right? Once you get into this project, oh, they changed everything here. Okay, so once you go here, it's going to work. Okay, good. Now, if you go to the board section, if you see this board, now this is Now you see this. This is like that board kind of thing, right? Because I can drag here and put it here. Does it go? Let's see here. Okay, good. No, it's fine. So this is like sticky notes, So these are the sticky notes, and you trying to move. This doesn't go to result, but it can go to close. Okay. Because it's not really task is really not a bug, so that's why it's not moving here. So this it goes here, but this is a bug. It's supposed to go to here. Okay, good. It's working. Okay, so this is how you are actually this board kind of thing. You see this board. So I was trying to explain in traditional way what we are doing. Here you can do it right, in online. Does it make sense to everyone? Okay, so now here what we are trying to do is we are trying to eliminate those all this in agile, traditional way, no more traditional. If you are working in a company which has traditional, you can recommend those people, right? You can recommend. So that's really very important. So they also require sometimes. Okay, they also require some, improvement, right? They have to always improve. If they don't improve, then that's really problem for them. Okay, so in that case, you can recommend them. Hey, you know what? While we are using a lot of resources in just agile in traditional work, why don't we use what we have this tool called TFS, Team Foundation Server, where we can do it the similar thing just like online without using external resources like project manager, our company's resources using the splatter is a lot of resources, right? And we are also decreasing our efficiency in doing work. So by using this, we can work much better and more efficient way. Okay, the same thing. You can put it new. All this, you can put it new here. Task is, and you see there's this, this graphs get updated automatically. Here it doesn't get updated, but let's see here. Yeah, this actually requires some work. Okay, so but otherwise, let's say this is your task. You're moving your sticky note here, and this is the bug. Okay, you open some bug, so you're moving it here. And let's say if your bug is resolved, you can put it here in the result. And once once this gets resolved, so let's say your task also is completed, then you can put your here is completed, and this is also closed. Okay, and we can create task right here. We can create task or bug. So this is kind of this is how. So last time they had some bug that was not moving here. Now it's good. Now I fixed it, I guess. So now it's good. Any questions in this? So this is a board kind of thing, and this is also kind of Kanban process. This is also Kanban, and TFS is good for Kanban, and Rally is good for Scrum. Okay. And Kanban, right? And Scrum, of course, if you have large teams, you can still work in this rally. If you have large people, doesn't matter. Okay, like 10 people, 15 people, if they even want to use one user story or something like that, still you can work here. There's no issues because the interface is very user friendly. Okay, whatever you're trying to do, everyone's names, all the names will be right here. Who is working on it? You see this owner, right? Everyone's names will be here. Here we are using one user ID and password, so that's the reason. And nobody didn't update this, so that's the reason we're not getting. Otherwise, everyone names will be showing up here, one after the other. Okay. And this is good for large teams too. If you're using large teams, you just get updated. And but this Kanban process of Team Foundation Server is for small teams. Okay, smaller team. You cannot, it's not like you cannot use for bigger team, but it's good for small team. Bigger teams also use it, but not very efficient. But small teams is better because here you see this. This is the user story. You cannot move this, okay? Because user story you cannot move user story. You can move task, not user story. Okay. You can close this, of course. This is new. You can resolve or close. You can do that, but you cannot move this. Okay. And of course, in this also you cannot move any user story, right? We are not moving any user stories here. We are moving our task. This is the sticky notes. Okay, so that's what the concept is same. Okay. So that's how you work it here. So this is board, and if you don't like board, of course you have this backlog option where you don't have to use board. The similar thing will be showing up here. How many tasks you can update here too. But board is good because it's interactive way, and you can see whoever is working on it, whoever is not working, and you can just directly drag and drop, like you're using in real time. So now this is called Kanban process. This is the, I mean, okay. So I mean the thing remains same. The process which you're doing in Scrum is also similar for Kanban, but the only difference is this one, the user interface normally. Okay. So that's about this agile. So I don't have really access for this. I have access, but I cannot give you because the account gets locked. So the only thing, if you want access for this, TFS, the System Foundation Server, and I can create you a brand new subdomain. So this is subdomain, right? On your name, and you can create. If you need it, let me know. Okay, we can work. Okay. I can create it for you and you can access it. You can create your own projects and you can work like this if you're really interested. But if you know this rally, that should be well and good. You don't have to know all this. The reason only need to know because you don't know which tool you'll be using at the workplace, right? You don't know. So that's the reason. If you get some idea, some knowledge on this, then whatever tool they are using, it doesn't matter because you have knowledge on this and you can imply the same knowledge in that any tool they are using. And that's how you can work it out. Any questions so far? So that's about this agile. So I'll be giving you homework. Okay, so again, don't delete any here. Okay, because my defect is gone now. Okay, see, I created a defect, right? Remember, I created a defect here. Now it's somebody deleted it. So here you can see, right, who has deleted it. So everything shows up clearly. Okay, so you cannot just see here. Everything shows who is doing what. So you cannot skip basically. Okay. Everyone knows who is doing what here. You see this, I added a defect. D414. Now I cannot see this defect. Now obviously somebody deleted it, so this is how you get tracked. Okay. So now once if you delete it, here it will showing up here. Okay, who deleted it. So don't do this. Okay. Here they will be just looking into it and get the information who deleted it, and they will get to you. Okay. There's no way to run. So they'll catch you immediately, almost immediately, okay, because they'll just look who is doing one. And if you're newly hired, and they'll be really monitoring you for at least 6 months. Okay. Don't think that you are not getting monitored. They'll just look into it and they'll look into it what's happening. Okay, so if no questions, can we close this class for today?
Hello, Manu. Actually, I some defects I have created, but I went to new defects. So how it got deleted, till now I am not able to understand. So can you just tell me how it happened?
So obviously someone might have deleted because I'm sharing these credentials with so many people, right? So many people, like here we have 10, maybe 15, 20 people. So somebody might have deleted, and when it
Okay.
deleted, you can see clearly in the revisions. If you see here, see even my user story was also deleted. Okay, so at what time somebody has deleted. So that's what it happened. Somebody deleted. So in that case, what I do is try for another user story. Okay, just
Okay.
okay, just create it. Or just some people have done in previous user story. You can do it in previous user story. Okay.
So always we have to, sorry, actually I'm disturbing. So actually how we should like go to like use that tool, like we should go to new, always new writing user story or new defect in quality.
Right. If you go here, once if you want to open defect, is this the defect section? You see this defect section?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes.
Once you click on that, and if you want to open here, see you put it name here, like
Yeah, yeah.
and add with details. Um, Here you can create your own. So this gets refreshed, and here you need to put all the information and create the detail. Okay, does it make sense?
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, there's also a video I showed you, right? How to open. You can also look into that if you need more information.
Yeah, yeah. I'll refer to it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, any more questions? Anyone? So that's what I'm saying, right? So don't delete it because it's causing inconvenience to other people. Okay, so if you don't know, you can send me an email how to do and what to do. I can show you, or you can refer my video to see. Most of the people, right? Some people they refer my video. No, see, obviously that video is if his video is not good. I mean, audio is not good or something. That's a different story. You can call me and you can email me something. But otherwise, they look into that video and try to replicate the tissue or try to replicate this. So that's how people do it, right? That's how so many people come back to me with questions. They see the video, try to replicate that thing which I tried to explain in the class. So you can also do similar thing with the same thing you can follow. Just try to see the video and try to replicate what I'm trying to do. Okay, that would be good. I never show you how to delete it and all those things. So so yeah, I try to retrieve it. Okay, I'll try to see if I can retrieve it, or if I might have done my God. But that's not an issue. That's the thing is you should not be doing this in real time. That's the point. Okay, so here it doesn't matter because I don't care. I really don't care. There's so many things here, so I'm really not bothered. But you need to be careful in doing all this. Okay, and of course, and also, of course, you should not be doing it because it's um, because it's causing. You see this, right? A lot of people are having inconvenience, and some people are really frustrated to this. Why don't you give me the different user ID? I don't have a different user ID. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating to people. So just make sure you don't do it. Okay. So, because some people want to complete homework because they're trying to use this tool because no one has used this tool before. They want to learn it, so they are doing the homework, right? So that's the reason. Okay, any more questions? Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.